Clint Eads. Yeah, the first time I ever met Clint Eads was back in 1987. He was 10 years old. His dad brought him to a YMCA practice. I was coaching the YMCA at that time. They had just moved in here from Borger, Texas, and he had already wrestled a few years in Texas. Texas Panhandle and the Dallas area are the only two places in Texas that really has wrestling. And he had started out in Borger. In looking at him immediately, I knew that he already had a lot of skills that were far above anybody else I had in the room. He also had an older brother that had already been working with him on wrestling and everything, so he had a lot of knowledge already on techniques and moves and those type of things. He was a quiet type of kid. He didn't say much, pretty reserved, but he stuck to whatever we were showing in the way of moves and positions and those type of things. He worked them hard. He wasn't the kind of kid that you had to blow a whistle on and say, hey, quit horseplaying. He was a serious type of person, and he concentrated on his moves and his techniques. And you could tell right off also, even after the 2 years that I coached him, that takedowns was his strong point. There was hardly anybody that could take him down in the room. He was really good at that. And then from his high school days, I mean, if you look at his junior and senior year, he took third in state his junior year. He was a state champion his senior year. He went 37-0, didn't lose a match. He only got taken down one time his senior year. That's unbelievable right there. But also, if you look at his record, that 37-0, he had 29 matches where he either pinned or he defeated the other wrestler with a major decision because he didn't get to the whistle, didn't get to the end of the match. That's how good he was. So he was an excellent athlete, and he definitely deserves to be in our Hall of Fame.
Oh, you guys are?
70.
You guys are rocking it.
I really think so.
I
70.
think you're rocking it too.
Everybody I used to know that was 70 was their dad.
Oh my
I know
God.
my high school newsletter on Facebook, or the Facebook page, is more of an obituary page now. You know, it's frightening.
We just had our 50th anniversary
Yeah, we had ours too.
a few weeks ago.
So fun though. But you were there, and you got to appreciate every day.
You know.
Okay, does that help you? So did I spell it right? R-I-L-E-Y?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim Riley. Good. We are rocking. And
Okay.
we are speaking of
Clint.
Clint Eads, wrestler.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So were you a coach of Clint's?
Yes, I was the high school coach here in Bartlesville when Clint and Dalen, and that's his brother, and then moved from, I think it was Borger, Texas. And they were Dalen was in the junior high, and Clint was even younger than that. But and I had the luxury of coaching him when he got to the high school.
So did you notice him in junior high?
Oh, yes,
So
yes,
you'll
he
repeat
was.
that question.
Yeah, just include that. Yeah, I noticed
Okay.
him in junior high. And then,
Well, he was easy to notice in junior high because he was winning. He loved the sport, but he never was until he got older a big, strong, strapping wrestling type looking guy. He was lanky but he wrestled like you wouldn't believe. He was something.
So then you that was junior high, and then in high school, were you his head coach, or were you just one of the coaches?
I was the head coach. Don Burt was the assistant, but
So
he had already gone through our elementary program, and at that point, Darren Meserly was our junior high coach, and he was just really doing a great job there. They were getting group after group that had been coached in the elementary at the Y by Wes's dad and Randy Standridge, and just the dads of those kids coached them when they were young. That's when you're going to have a bunch of good high schoolers, when you get kids like that. And these guys, Clint was kind of the leading guy, the bell cow of those. As we started trying to make we tried to break into the top 10 in Oklahoma wrestling, and 5A was pretty tough. That was our first goal, and 2 years in a row there when Clint was in high school, and we finished 8th in the state with 2 state finalists, and Clint was the very first one. And he showed everyone how to do it. You know, Clint would drive anywhere to get a good freestyle wrestling workout.
So what do you mean he'd drive anywhere?
Well, they didn't have a lot of freestyle kids here, you know. Then that means doing it in the summertime, you know, when everybody's playing baseball and stuff. It'd be hard to get a guy your size and all that, so he'd drive down to the Tulsa area, Broken Arrow a lot, and there'd be competition there where guys just like him, you know, that wanted to wrestle at the next level. And that's what I meant by that.
So tell us a little bit about his, do you have obviously have a good work ethic. Can you tell us a little about it? How was his work ethic?
Well, nobody worked as hard as Clint did, but Clint loved wrestling. Well, you know, one of the things people don't know about Clint is he is a good athlete. He could have played those other sports. He could have played football, and I think that's evident by how good a golfer he is. But he was a really, really good athlete, and he loved wrestling, and he chose wrestling, and that's what he played all the time. But he was just loved to have fun in the wrestling room. He made games out of everything, and he was just great to be around and kind of be the leader of your room. I mean, guys like him, people follow, you know.
That's a great. I love that one.
I like that.
I do too.
Was there any one? I don't know anything about wrestling. Was there a move, or is there parts of wrestling? Like, is there offense and defense?
Oh yeah.
How does that
And Clint, that's one of the things I was going to talk about. Clint was the first big guy to wrestle like a little guy in around here. The heavyweight, he wrestled 215, 225 his senior year. That's a big kid. And those guys usually just grab and waller around and throw one another down, and okay, they don't wrestle like a 130 pounder. Well, Clint learned wrestling as a 130 pounder. He took that stuff to that weight. He's doing low-level John Smith single legs, climbing up in underneath the guy, finishing out the back, doing stuff that 30 pounders do. And these big guys, they didn't know how to deal with it. Plus, Clint was mean as he could be. I saw him pin a guy one time, and I swear the kid got up and he said, I didn't think I was ever going to breathe again. And I mean, he just squeezed these kids' heads off. Big kids, you know, and they weren't the wrestler Clint was, but he was the first guy that wrestled like a little guy, that got up to those weights, and he was tough. 34-0 with 28 pins his senior year. I mean, that's pretty good. Got recruited at OU, went to OU.
That was great.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that one too. Okay, no, we're getting better.
Yeah.
I've liked all the ones tonight.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, so I'm just thinking. So that was kind of funny when you said he was mean. So you maybe talk about.
Well, I got another
because
good
you said
story.
he's a nice kid.
Okay, we
So
got another good story.
maybe if you could kind of tell, you know, like you said, he was a leader in the locker room and it was
Yeah.
a nice kid. But when he turned, you know.
Oh,
Okay, so to kind of start the story. For us.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Clint was a guy that I mean, he's fun as he was and all that. He was a competitor and he wrestled on a national level. He was a national champion in his sophomore, okay, summer at Wrestling USA. But he understood how sometimes when you got a real competitive guy, you got to go in a place, you know, your mom don't like you being in there. In your head, you got to get ready. Well, Clint had a match where we had one we thought he'd need to get up for, or you know, he did, and he got over and he's getting ready, and I mean, you know, he's getting ready. You don't talk to him, okay, and then they come and they forfeit to him, okay, and he was in a rage. I'm not kidding you. At a time, and he wasn't out of control and flipping out or anything. You could just tell he was ready to go out on the mat and do his battle. Well, then it's shut off. And he showed what a winner he was right there, because he went from there understanding he couldn't do it. I think he might have yelled into a towel one time. But right there, to know where he could be mentally and where he was, and then just in 10 seconds could control it, he's a champion. And that's what champions do. You know, he's not going to whine. I've seen guys break their fist hitting the wall on a deal like that before, okay? So, I mean, Clint was, he could get in that mean place.
Okay.
Yeah, those are great.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, is there
Jim,
anything
is
else you
there-
want to say?
You know, I was the leader of this wrestling family here in Bartlesville from 1985 to 1996. Okay, and it's a big family. Anyone that wrestled during that time is part of my family, and you know will always be. And it's a tight, small group. Wrestling family is kind of a small group. And it just makes me so proud to see these guys that I coached, were part of my family here, coming back to the program, giving back. You know, a lot of the daddies are coaching the elementary now and stuff, and it just really does my heart good to see that. And then for Clint to get this recognition, be the first state champion from Bartlesville Bruins, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and I'm proud as I can be of it.